Good morning everyone and welcome to the final edition of Morning Markets for 2022. Certainly reflecting back over this year, there has been a lot of challenges for asset markets to contend with, both at a market level but also at a geopolitical level. When we look back to the start of this year, we had Russia's invasion of the Ukraine and the tremendous challenges that brought, both at an economic level, at a market level, but most fundamentally at a humanitarian level as well. That certainly fed into the rising inflation backdrop when we look back over the course of the year, how volatile energy prices had become. And by that I mean both oil, but more particularly natural gas for Europe, given the close linkage of Russia to the supply of natural gas into Europe. We also look at how that fed through into policy decisions as we moved through this year. Interest rates had to increase to deal with very high and elevated levels of inflation. Even looking here at the UK, we had an inflation rate peaking at over 10%, that highest level that we've seen in some 40 years of inflation rates. And that was a similar trend across the globe, and that's an important point to remember. It's not just been about the UK, but about trends that have been similar in many other markets. Central banks have responded. We've seen some of the fastest and swiftest increases in interest rates that we've seen in a generation. Indeed, when we look at the US, we've seen 425 basis points or 4.25% of interest rate increases this year. Back at the start of the year, interest rates were still at their lows coming out of COVID-19. COVID-19 itself, something that was an important and very important consideration all the way through 2021 and indeed at the beginning of this year. We've seen economies and supply chains adapt and move forward with COVID-19. Our medical treatments of that have been moved quite significantly over that period of time and continue to evolve. If we look back, where is the one place where that hasn't changed a lot, and something that we've discussed many times over the course of the year, and that's been the zero COVID policy in China, which has impacted Chinese equity markets, Chinese credit markets, and indeed global markets. The uncertainty about how demand was likely to evolve through 2022 from China. As we sit here today, there's been a sea change in China in terms of that zero COVID approach, and very significant changes which will feed into 2023 as we look forward. I think the other thing that we've been very keen to discuss is just the impact that this has all had on asset markets. Yes, it's been a difficult year for global equities. There's been pockets where we have seen a better performance, but really a challenging backdrop for equities. And with that inflation and interest rate backdrop, a significant challenge for bond markets. But that's not to say that that doesn't create opportunity or the potential for returns into the future. And indeed, what we would contend, and the partners with we work would contend, that we've seen a very significant repricing of financial assets, particularly within fixed income over the course of 2022. And when we look forward to 2023 and beyond, that does certainly present the opportunity to earn better returns over the years to come. I'd also just like to say thank you to you, our subscribers who've joined us over the course of the year. We've made it through 10,000 subscribers in the YouTube channel. If you're watching this for the first time, please do hit subscribe and you'll get all the great content from the True Potential team into your inbox on a daily basis. Thank you to all of my colleagues as well who've taken part in this. It's been a great year for us in terms of bringing you that content, seeing the subscriber growth and also seeing the views. Join us again in 2023 when we'll discuss what we think is going to happen in terms of our outlook. Many thanks. If you're interested in taking your investing to the next level, or would like to know more about the options available to you when you retire, then download our free guides to ISAs and pensions. These are available in the video description below.